ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। मग्नानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 16 continued. Thus the Lord says that one should approach him and go back to him, back home, back to God. But unfortunately, people have no knowledge of what God is, whether one can go back home to him or not, or whether or not it is practical, because they have no knowledge. They are simply like animals. They pray, "Oh God, give us our daily bread." But now suppose we ask them, what is God? Can they explain? No. Then whom are they asking? Are they merely praying into the air? If I submit some petition, there must be some person to whom the petition is submitted. But they do not know the person, who the person is, or where the petition is to be submitted. They say that God is in the sky, but there are also so many birds in the sky. Are they God? Prabhupada. People have imperfect knowledge or no knowledge at all. Nonetheless, they pose as scientists, philosophers, writers, and great thinkers, although their ideas are all rubbish. The only truly worthwhile books are those like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, नयद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो जगत्पवित्रं प्रगृणीतः कर्हिचित् तद्वायसं तीर्थम् उशन्ति मानसा नयत्र हंसा निरमन्ति उशिक्षयाः. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavatyapi namani anantasya shonkitani yat shrunvanti gayanti grinanti sadhavaha. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words, directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So we should understand this. When we are reading Srila Prabhupada's books, they are full of transcendental words. And what is the intention of those words? They are directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. So impious lives, this is what we are fighting. We are fighting this anartha nivritti, right? We are in this anartha nivritti, most of us. Anartha means unwanted, right? And some of it might be pious, some of it might be impious. But mostly in Kali Yuga, most of this will be impious, will be sinful, right? And detrimental to our bhakti. So we have to get over this. And how do we get over these anarthas? Simply by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, because his books are full of transcendental words. Actually, it is said like, our acharyas, the books that acharyas have written, previous acharyas in our before Srila Prabhupada, they can be read and understood only by Vaishnavas, meaning already practicing devotees who have clear understanding of basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness, who are practicing, who are realized to some extent, they can understand Acharya's books. So we can't give previous Acharya's books, for example, we can't distribute previous Acharya's books to current population and expect them their lives to change. Prabhupada presented his books just to create this revolution in the lives of people, in the lives of modern people, today's people. And that is the reason he stressed so much on book distribution and also emphasized that before you distribute books, you read my books. Because just by reading Prabhupada's books, which are so easy to understand in calm, in like really layman language, because if we think that this is, like some very transcendental, very high flowing language, then we can't really even think of reading any of Acharya's books. So this can be we can say that this is the most dumbed down version of Shastra, as in he's presented it, Prabhupada has presented it in such a way that the most unqualified people can understand and thereby become purified. So if we are not seeing a major change in our life, in our ways, which basically means we are not reading. Today's world, people are more attached to hearing. And I'm reading one more book by His Holiness Shivram Swami Maharaj, and he says that is because of laziness. People are lazy because reading means effort. It's it's sadhana. It requires some austerity, and it requires effort. Sitting, reading, trying to understand. We might not understand, then again reading, rereading it, etc. It's an effort. But hearing is easy, right? So, and yesterday also a few devotees were asking me, should we consider this session 8:30 to 9 as hearing or reading? I said both in one sense, right? But fundamentally, I think it is reading, because our idea is to actually read and understand how powerful Prabhupada's books, and then thereby maybe inspire, hoping that it will inspire devotees to take up reading Srila Prabhupada's books more seriously, because of so much that is, there in his books. And the hearing part is more to just motivate, inspire. But we are not talking anything apart from specific lines that are there in Prabhupada's purport. So I would think of these as more closer to reading than hearing. Now, more closer to reading. They are not actually reading. They're more closer to reading, which hopefully will motivate, inspire others to actually get into serious reading. But general classes that we, hear, it'll be just about one specific topic, or, a particular verse. And most of the times it's not that the complete all aspects of the verse are discussed, based on the speaker, his inclination, and so on and so forth. But the systematic, complete presentation of the topic as Prabhupada wanted us to understand is there in his books. So unless we read Prabhupada's books, actually this purification is so easy if you read Prabhupada's book. I mean, it's practical, experienced. Simply read Prabhupada's books every day. Like I keep saying, 1 hour we should have for reading Prabhupada's books. You see how our life will change. And if we read 2 hours, then it's like revolutionary change. I mean, in very short time, we'll make drastic progress. Because Prabhupada's books are empowered. I mean, Prabhupada said, these are not my words, these Krishna's words. Krishna just made me write. And that's the reason why Prabhupada came, right? There's a pastime it says, like, why Prabhupada said, I came into this material world because Krishna said, just go there, write those books and come. That's all. So literally, Prabhupada came to write these books. Why? Because it's going to revolutionize the life of the impious lives of today's world. Right, so we should understand the importance of reading Srila Prabhupada's book. It's very, very different than reading anything else. Any literature that has no connection with God is just like a place where crows take enjoyment. Where do crows enjoy? In a filthy place. But white swans take pleasure in nice, clear water surrounded by gardens. So even among animals, there are natural divisions. The crows will not go to the swans. Hare Krishna. Somebody say anything? Similarly, in human society, there are men who are like crows and men who are like swans. The swan-like men will come to centers of Krishna consciousness where everything is clear, where there's good philosophy, good transcendental food, good education, good intelligence. See, this we have to demonstrate in our centers, temples, etc. Good philosophy, good transcendental food, good education. Good education, we need to educate them. And good intelligence also. They should see, oh, devotees are intelligent. Everything good. Whereas crow-like men will go to clubs, parties, naked dance shows, and so many other such things. So this is an effort, right, for people who are preaching to try and provide all this as part of their service. Provide good philosophy, good transcendental food, prasadam, good education. And education is given by our own practice also. People will look at us and see and learn. So the Krishna consciousness movement is meant for swan-like men, not for men who are like crows. But we can convert the crows into swans. This is our philosophy. See, this is the most important thing. Those who are crows are now swimming like swans. That is the benefit of Krishna consciousness. The material world is the world where swans have become crows. In the material world, the living entity is engaged in a material body and it tries to gratify senses in one body after another. But the re-establishment of dharma will gradually turn crows into swans. For example, a man may be illiterate and uncultured, but he can be converted into an educated, cultured man by training. See, the importance of training devotees in Krishna consciousness. So this concept of training is very, very important. We should not think that our work ends in just, getting some people into Krishna consciousness and that's it, right? But they have to be trained. And our focus is to actually train people, right? Because when people, and that's why we systematically take them through different, maybe Siksha levels, number of rounds of chanting, and eventually as they're coming close to 16 rounds, the training becomes intense, more serious, more holistic. Right? Till then, maybe some simple rules are given. For example, no onion, garlic, no eating food outside, no useless wasting of time, this, that, and all that. Right? But more serious training is given when somebody comes to the stage of chanting 16 rounds, right? Or closer to that. Or we are generally seeing that somebody is more serious, they want to make progress. Then we will train them. And the training includes so many aspects. And literally, we've seen this, right? I mean, most of the devotees, when they first come into Krishna consciousness, they're uncultured because in today's world, there is no understanding of culture. What do people know about culture? Even in India, people don't know about culture. Forget about other countries. Uh, for example, I mean, one part of culture is cleanliness. People have no idea about cleanliness. It's just like very low class, right? Now, if you don't train them, many people say, no, 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 if you tell them, they'll feel bad. Yeah, we are not going to tell anybody, but there are certain ground rules that have to be set. And we have to set that. For example, simple thing like uh, for example, just say serving prasadam. And there is a culture to serve, right? How to serve is part of a culture, right? For example, devotees don't understand. One thing is while serving, they will touch the serving spoon to the plate, which is absolutely unacceptable. It has to be washed immediately, right? Second thing is already in a plate, say there are 2, 3 items that have been served and it's full. And devotees just take one more bucket of something and just put on top of it, right? somewhere, and it might mix with sabji, it might mix with something else. A sweet might be served which is mixed with sub. I mean, this is not. These are things we have to train. Right? People get up from after honoring prasadam, they walk on the place where prasadam people took devotees took prasadam, which means there'll be some rice, some sabdi, this, that, and all fallen on the ground, which is prasadam, and they just stamp over it. So multiple things happen. One is offending prasadam. Second is the whole place is contaminated, no, because they stamp that and go all over the temple. So we have to train. I mean, we have to tell people don't stamp. And immediately we have to have people who are going to start cleaning as soon as people get up from their place. No, these things, if you don't put in place, people are never going to learn. So training is a very, very important part of Krishna consciousness. And unfortunately, training is seen today as very like, too much of control freak. No, it's a culture. We have to learn Vaishnava culture, and we have to impart that, teach that to others. Right? And it is the duty of every temple center preacher to do this, to take up training, to help people make progress. And this training doesn't end with initiation. Obviously, it's most important before initiation, because at least they should come to some level of culture, but it continues. It absolutely continues, because there are higher and higher aspects of, the training, which will be required. And training also for the person who is receiving training, training means submission, right? Are ready to accept. Most devotees don't want to, they'll just say, I will hear only from my Guru Maharaj. Yeah, you'll hear from Guru Maharaj, but you will not follow. Who's going to be responsible? Then we'll put all this one on Guru's head, saying that you take all our bad deeds. No, that's not correct. Right? So we have to get trained. In fact, it's every devotee's responsibility to make sure that he or she is trained properly in Krishna consciousness. And this training is possible in the human form of life. I cannot train a dog to become a devotee. That is difficult. Of course, that also can be done, although I may not be powerful enough to do that. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling through the jungles of Jarikhanda, the tigers, snakes, deer, and all other animals became devotees. This was possible for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he is God himself and can therefore do anything. But although we cannot do that, we can work in human society, regardless of how fallen a man is. If he follows the instructions of Krishna consciousness, he can return to his original position. And it is our duty to share these instructions with people so that they can return to their original position. Of course, there are degrees of understanding, but one's original position is that one is part and parcel of God. Understanding of this position is called Brahman realization, spiritual realization. And it is this realization that Krishna himself comes to this world to establish. And we have to reach the stage of Brahman realization. Right now, we have just theoretical knowledge of Brahman realization, that I am not this body, I'm spirit, soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. But we have to come to the stage of Brahman realization. Now we are doing a practice called sadhana bhakti, which will help us to come to that position, Brahma Bhuta. But it takes time and lot of endeavor. If you are not serious, many devotees say, I have been chanting Hare Krishna for so many years, nothing is happening. It basically means you are not chanting. It's a very simple thing. There's no process in Krishna consciousness which is a time pass, meaning you just do it for some entertainment or some, Lap Puja Pratishtha. No, every aspect of Krishna consciousness, however, whatever it is, however small and big somebody might consider it. For example, washing vessels. And this is the first thing that devotees should do. I mean, if somebody here in this hearing group have come to Krishna consciousness without washing vessels, please go back and wash vessels, clean toilets. I mean, without this, actually, we cannot make progress. We will still be in our, consciousness saying that I am something great. Yeah, when we are asked to go and clean a toilet, then we will know, saying that what my position is. When I have to sit and, wash vessels. And people who do this make such tremendous progress. It's unimaginable. These tiny, tiny things. So somebody will consider this tiny, not significant. No, why should I do that? I've heard of some places where they hire people to do this, pay money and hire people to wash vessels. Of course, in some very, very big establishments, it might not be, but still, the effort should be made to engage devotees in this service. And only then we will purify ourselves and we can then come to the stage of Brahman realization. So, no service is small, no service is disrespectful, or every aspect of Krishna consciousness purifies, brings us to the Brahman realization platform. And that's again part of the training. Lord Krishna came to this world at the request of his devotees Vasudeva and Devaki. Vasudevasya devakyam yachitobhyagat. Although in their former lives Vasudeva and Devaki were married, they did not have any children. They engaged themselves in severe austerities, and when Krishna came before them and asked them what they wanted, they said, "We want a son like you. That is our desire." But how is it possible for there to be another God? Krishna is God and God is one. He cannot be two. So how could there be another God to become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? Krishna therefore said, "It is not possible to find another God. So I myself shall become your son." So some people say that it is because Vasudeva and Devaki wanted Krishna as their son that he appeared. Although Krishna actually comes to satisfy his devotees like Vasudeva and Devaki, when he comes, he performs other activities also. Vadhaya cha suradvisham. The word vadhaya means killing, and suradvisham refers to the demons who were always envious, dvisha, envious of the devotees. Krishna comes to kill these demons. An example of a demon is Hiranyakashipu. Because Prahlad Maharaja was a devotee, his father Hiranyakashipu was so envious that he was prepared to kill his own son. Although the little boy's only fault was that he was chanting Hare Krishna. This is the nature of demons. Jesus Christ also was killed by Suradvisham, those who were envious of him. What was his fault? His only fault was that he was preaching about God. Yet he had so many enemies who cruelly crucified him. Therefore, Krishna comes to kill such Suradvisham. This killing of the envious, of course, can be done without the presence of Krishna. By setting to work the natural forces of war, pestilence, famine, and so on, Krishna can kill millions of people. We saw that, right? He does not need to come here to kill these rascals, for they can be killed simply by his direction or nature's law. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha. Nature has so much power that it can create, maintain, and annihilate everything. Srishti means creation, Sthiti means maintenance, Pralaya means destruction. Nature can create, maintain, and also destroy. This material cosmic manifestation is being maintained by the mercy of nature, by which we are getting sunlight, air, and rain, by which to grow our food, so that we can eat and grow nicely. But nature is so powerful that at any time it can destroy everything simply by one strong wind. Nature is working under the direction of Krishna. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate satcharacharam. Therefore, if Krishna wants demons killed, he can kill millions of them with merely one strong blast of nature's wind. So to kill the demons, Krishna does not need to come. This is part of Tattva. So we have to understand. Krishna doesn't come to kill demons. It's not Krishna's work to come to kill demons. When he comes, he does so because he is requested by his devotees like Vasudeva and Devaki. Krishna specifically does not have to kill these demons. He doesn't have to come, or it's not his job. That is Vishnu's job. Vishnu and Krishna are non-different, but this is still different. He does so because he is requested by his devotees like Vasudeva and Devaki. So why Krishna appears is mainly, to please his devotees, nothing else. As Kunti Devi indicates by using the word yachitaha, meaning being prayed for. Therefore, the real cause of his coming is at the request of his devotees. But when he comes, he simultaneously shows that he is prepared to kill anyone who is envious of his devotees. Of course, killing and maintaining are the same because he is absolute. Those who are killed by Krishna immediately attain salvation, which generally takes millions of years to get. And of course, Srila Prabhupada has also said that when Krishna killed, it was actually the Vishnu aspect in Krishna which was killing, because Krishna doesn't himself engage in killing. So people may say that Krishna has come for this purpose or that purpose, but actually Krishna comes for the benefit of his devotees. He always looks after the welfare of the devotees. And so we have to become devotees. Only then he will look after us. And who are these devotees? Who are sincere, surrendered souls without any desire but to please Krishna. Krishna will take care of them. Of course, he also takes care of Sakama Bhaktas if they are a little sincere. But he is not really bothered about abhaktas, atheists, and asuras. But when they come and trouble devotees, then he becomes concerned about them and destroys them for their own welfare. And so, from this instruction of Kunti, we should understand that we should always be concerned with how to become devotees. Then all good qualities will come upon us. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunes tatra samaste suraha sarvais guner. Sarvair gunes. If one simply develops one's dormant natural devotion for Krishna, one will develop all good qualities. So we don't have to do anything else. We have to just engage in Krishna consciousness practice. And once natural devotion awakens, and good qualities appear automatically. Nothing needs to be done. Our devotion for Krishna is natural. Just as a son has natural devotion to his father and mother, we have natural devotion to Krishna. When there is danger, even materialistic scientists pray to God. Of course, when they are not in danger, they defy God. And therefore, danger is required in order to teach these rascals that there is God. We should also not put ourselves in this position, where we are generally forgetting Krishna, and Krishna has to create some situation in our lives to wake us up. Actually, this happens to many, many devotees. So don't let this happen. I give this example of a Maruti van. Maruti van previously never used to start, whatever, right? Then somebody comes, pushes. And when that push happens, there's jerk. There's jerk, but the car starts. Right? But when Krishna comes and pushes, it's very difficult. So we should not let this happen. If we are sincere, only Krishna will push. Otherwise, he will not push. We are sincere, but we are just, not making any attempt to become Krishna conscious. Then Krishna will push. Fortunate souls. Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Our natural position is to be dependent on God. Artificially, we are trying to banish God, saying God is dead. There's no God, or I am God. This is our idea of sense gratification. Is I am God, I am the enjoyer. But when you give up this rascaldom, Krishna will give us all protection. See? When you give up this rascaldom, we have to give up this rascaldom. Only then Krishna will give us all protection. So Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. And give up everything, surrender to me, I will take care of you. But if we want to hold on to our own, we create our own rules. See, when Krishna says give up everything, he's just saying follow whatever I am saying. And we should follow what Krishna is saying. What is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying live a responsible life of a grahastha if you have to. Otherwise, you can directly remain brahmachari, become a sannyasi, achieve perfection. You become a grahastha, take care of your responsibilities nicely, without with Krishna in the center, without desire for sense gratification, as a matter of duty, without being attached to ups and downs in life. Do bhakti, and when time comes, give up grahastha, take up vanaprastha, which means that no meddling in the house affairs. Right? Ideally, that is why previously vanaprastha means, of course, previously vanaprastha would also mean husbands would leave wives and go, but for us it is said that husband and wife, though both can just go on yatra. Don't be at home. Don't be at home and get entangled in house affairs, grandchildren, this, that, and all that. So this is the path. And then 16 hours bhakti in vanaprastha. So this is what Krishna is saying. So anybody who is sincerely trying to follow this, Krishna gives protection. We don't have to have already, maybe we've not come to that stage already, but we are on the path. But we have sincerely given up all other nonsense. Then Krishna will give us all protection. This is very difficult for people to digest. All these festivals, so-called festivals come, and people are stuck. They're not in that Sarvadharman Parityajya stage. So yeah, it requires a little bit surrender to come to that. Because not all of these are actually Vaishnava festivals, right? I mean, for us, it's very different. The mood is very different. But yeah, some neophytes, new people in Krishna consciousness, they can be allowed to do. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, don't disturb them. They're doing something, let them do. Okay, so we say, yeah, yeah, festival, how was your festival? Festival, nice, very good, very good. Okay. Come to the center in Sunday, right? Because we can't disturb them. But those who want to become serious in Krishna consciousness, they should realize utility of all these other things and become surrender completely to Krishna, only depend on him for everything. Then Krishna will give all protection. Okay, I'll stop here if anybody questions, comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I don't have a question, but can I share something that I have read, maybe related to this?
Okay, yeah.
So I am reading a small book called On the Way to Krishna.
Mm.
And in that it was written, like here it was written, of son's natural devotion to father and mother. There also similar thing was written, which I was able to correlate, is that if a son is lost and he has left his father's home, then he can come back to the father, and father will be actually eagerly waiting. And in this case, Krishna is our eternal father, and he's also for us. So I thought it is similar to this.
Okay, 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 good. Yeah. Krishna is waiting. Krishna is anxious. Like we read the other day, Krishna is unhappy when we are unhappy. Prabhupada writes that, right? I mean, this is a striking statement for me. Now we think that, oh, yeah, no, Krishna is also feels for his devotees, right? Actually, all jivas he feels, but yeah, some are not bothered about Krishna's being unhappy, right? We should be worried. We should be thinking, wow, why am I making Krishna unhappy? Because I'm unhappy. Why am I unhappy? Because I'm not following his instructions. I'm just living life whimsically. So obviously I'm unhappy. Krishna is not happy with that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Thank you. Anything else?
No, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No comments from anybody. Okay. Close. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Dandavat. Hare Krishna.